What it do, baby? We back at it again. Episode 19. Let me say it again. Episode 19. We live, baby.
Yes, we got one more left, man. We got one more episode left. And who do we have with us, Lamar?
Logan Woo. What it do, baby? What up, bro?
Hey, woo. Look, I appreciate the invite. Y'all, my fellas, we go way back. So look, I'm ready to talk, basketball. I'm back. I'm returning.
Can we talk about your backdrop real fast, what you have behind you?
Hey, man, I call this the legend wall. I got everybody back here. First off, this is Papa Woo, you know what I'm saying? Back in the Randolph-Macon days, jumping over the pile for the touchdown, mind you. You know what I'm saying? He was a running back. He's a dog, you know what I'm saying? We got Huey P. We got Malcolm X, Barack, you know what I'm saying? Everybody.
That's nice. I love that. I love that.
Legend.
Lamar, what are we talking about this week?
We ain't gonna talk about my legend, Magic Johnson,
man.
Kobe Bean,
yeah,
Lamar.
Then all right, man. Go ahead. I digress.
Okay.
Again, you mean? Okay.
So Game 5, Bucks obviously versus Phoenix. The Bucks pulled off a win, even though they lost the fourth quarter. Ray, give me your takeaways from that game. Do you feel like this was a winnable game from the Phoenix Suns, or was this Bucks all the way?
No, I thought it was a winnable game for the Phoenix Suns. I think the Bucks went out there and got that one. Chris Middleton hit like at least 5 clutch baskets down the stretch. Like you saw him and Booker were trading back and forth for a little bit. When I saw LeBron sitting courtside, I knew they were going to lose. Just like when I saw Devin Booker's outfit that one game when he was wearing that baggy fit, I was like, oh no, they're going to lose tonight. Because there's just something about that. You can tell when somebody's going to lose. And I knew Bron, just something about that pressure and that stage and him being his stage for like the last 9 years. Like, I just knew that it wasn't looking good for Phoenix. And everybody was quiet. I'm just talking about the mannerisms. Giannis, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, everybody was quiet. That's usually Devin Booker, though. He could be a silent assassin. I'll give that to him. But Giannis was quiet and Chris Paul was quiet, which isn't usually them. Giannis didn't have his brother there, which made him a little bit like he wasn't dogging and yelling like he usually is.
Yeah.
And his
brother be big hyping him up.
Exactly. And Chris Paul, though, saw LeBron over there and he knew his last game. He was trying not to get a turnover. So I think the Bucks went out there and got that win. Middleton and Jrue Holiday got that win. As well as PJ Tucker, big hats off to them. I love the lineups they were playing, and I love the switches they were doing.
That fourth quarter lineup by the Bucks was good.
Yeah, those defensive schemes. So I thought the Bucks went out and got this one. No fault to Devin Booker, but you can tell about Chris Paul's mental, man. You can tell. It ain't there, man.
He just happy to be there.
He just happy to be there. He ain't got that Dwayne Wade mentality. He ain't got that LeBron mentality. I mean, LeBron ain't got that mentality, but he ain't got the Kobe. I mean, LeBron don't got the killer mentality when it matters. He'll be quiet and be like, 45, please, God, please let me drop 45 and just do a couple of death stares. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I feel about the game. I think Milwaukee went out and got that one. They
did. Logan, where you at with this?
Man, the way I took my notes is kind of hilarious now because I kind of regret them all. I have Game 5 first impressions. Can I start there?
Go for it.
It says Crowder, big letters, 3 and slam. This is the start, okay?
Yeah.
Booker, just like that, just by itself, Booker. And that's for the Suns. And then I go over, this is where I regret a little bit. Bucks, it says Jrue came out firing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I felt like it was a personal attack on me because I had just spoke ill on him to Lamar. I was like, my man has not been shooting. And then I was like, oh, when he have his hair pulled back, he be playing. Okay. Okay. Because he made me regret everything I told Lamar. And then this one I really regret. It's the second note for Bucks for first impressions. It says, no, we are ready. Now here we are.
Well, I will say for your Crowder point was a great point because I thought in the first half, I even tweeted, I think I said, who would have thought that Crowder would be like the change of this series? Because he was coming out, 2 back-to-back threes, a run-up dunk. Crowder ain't care. And he's playing like a dog. Like, where was he in Cleveland? Where was he this in Boston? It wasn't this Crowder. But
not at all.
Yeah,
it's the Crowder from Miami Heat, though.
Yeah, he did great. He did great last year in Miami Heat. You're right about that. Something clicked with Crowder. But yeah, so that I do agree with that point. He was a dog in the first half, but it kind of fizzled out.
So let me give you my take. You finished on your take?
Yeah, that's my first impression, but I got pages and notes here.
So I'm almost equally as disgusted from that game. I felt like,
oh yeah, you were pulling for the Suns, right?
I was pulling for the Suns, and the way the first half started off, I said, okay, Devin Booker looked like, okay, I'm ready. This is my winnable game.
Yeah.
Chris Paul was nowhere to be found. He was making State Farm commercials. You know what I mean? So we fast forward to the second half. The third quarter by Milwaukee was insane. 36 in the third.
Yeah.
You know, you can't dig yourself into that hole in the fourth quarter. Now, fourth quarter comes around. I like putting Giannis at the 5, PJ Tucker at the 4. You put them in the blender because you got Giannis to do whatever, but he missed a lot of free throws. And this is where the opportunities for Phoenix failed. I don't know how many more defensive rebounds they did not get.
Yeah.
It had to been like at least 6 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, even the last play, Devin Booker, a beautiful 3 at 1:25. Fast forward to like 40 seconds, that turnover was beautiful. Jrue Holiday. Let's talk about the mindset to throw that alley-oop. Giannis hit him with the
veteran play. Giannis is the Greek freak, but I have to shout out Giannis for this. All of us have played basketball. If you've seen that whole second half, there wasn't one play Giannis wasn't setting the pick. Like every time he came down, he's
very active. Yeah.
Every time, and everybody was asking why he was so tired or why he was so worn down.
He's doing little things.
You guys literally see every time he come down, he's putting his body on the line and he's getting hit by somebody. Yep. And so that was huge to me because it was just like, yeah, his demeanor was off, just like I said from the beginning, but for good measure. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it was, wasn't warranted.
So now I got Bucks and 6 now. Lo, who you got?
Man, at this point, I'm going to hold that till we get later on in the show because I'm so thrown off. I was planning to start off this show with you fellas I knew I was wearing the jersey, so I was going to be like, Suns out, guns out, but they in for the win. That was the whole script. That was the script, but now I'm here, so I'm readjusting. So if I could, to speak on the second,
yeah,
that's when they came back. Okay, they also stacked the lineup. They said that this was the first time that they stacked the lineup with Giannis, Tucker, Lopez, Portis, and Middleton. They were balling so crazy at that point. So you know what I'm saying. And I also had a note for that to calm down Suns. Because they were losing the ball. Like I would see the ball like just kind of like trembling away so many times. And that's throughout. And then Ray, you also mentioned you were tired of hearing people say Giannis is tired, Giannis is this, Giannis is that. I have a note that has jokingly written, but serious from me, Giannis tied. Tied. I said walking up court. But lo and behold, he passed the ball for a 3 to Middleton right after I wrote that note. So it's like he may have been walking, but he was literally calculating what he was about to do.
Yeah, that's one good thing about Giannis is he was tired and he was just drained, but you didn't see any lack of effort.
No, and put some respect on Giannis' name.
It wasn't like watching James Harden. Like I've seen James Harden get tired, and that dude just said everything but get me off the court.
Right.
Like So yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Okay, so let's go. Let's project Finals MVP. Now that we have Game 5 in the books, both teams, because originally coming in the gates, Vegas had Chris Paul as MVP. He is nowhere close. For the Suns, it would literally only be Devin Booker. Now, for the Bucks, you can make a case for Chris Middleton. So my question to both of you all, if the Bucks win, who wins MVP?
Who do you want to go first? I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. For me, I would say sports writers will be torn. And so it really is a technical thing now. It's not about like, we know it's not a fan vote. It's about the people who actually have license to vote. And so when we're talking about this, that's what I think about. And I think about, does Kendrick Perkins have a vote? I think about, because I know he's voting for Middleton, but I also know a lot of other writers are very much narrative and they can't see themselves having a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, slip through their hands, not winning the Finals MVP in a season that was already in shambles. So I don't see us really being Chris Middleton. I think we would really have to look at the stats and it would have to be tremendous. Like he dropped 45 in the finals and Giannis only dropped 22. But I don't think that's the case. And so I think Giannis will nudge, but I do think it will be close because I do think we'll have a couple of writers in there that think that Middleton's the Batman. But I think that's false. You don't have a 2-time MVP and just call him a Robin. That's ridiculous.
So Logan, before you go, the tough thing about this is a flashback to the Lakers when they play Indiana, Kobe and Shaq. You could Shaq was very, very dominant, but Kobe was equally doing the damn thing.
Close.
You know what I mean?
Close.
That's what I'm saying.
You have one, a young stud. You have two, you know what I mean? It's a different bit of
it's like right there.
It's a little bit.
Logan, who you got?
And this is if the Bucks win, correct?
Yes. Yeah, if you think the Suns gonna win.
Yeah, go for your finals MVP. Go, rock.
I mean, just to throw it out there, if it's the Bucks, it's Giannis hands down for me. But I still want to keep hope alive for the Suns, for the story. And also, Lamar had mentioned to me, like, and it kind of put into perspective, I'm like, yeah, this is their best opportunity. Like,
let me ask you, not to challenge your narrative. I'm just asking what story, because I would raise you every Devin Booker story Giannis has. And then I would raise you Chris Paul just ringless. like it ain't a pretty story. You raised Jrue and his wife and what they've done and all that stuff. It's just not a pretty market. That's what I'm saying. Of like, what story besides we saw? Yeah, they almost rigged the game. What was it, game 2 or game 1? I don't know which game it was. They almost rigged that game for Phoenix for the story when Booker wrapped up Jrue and they act like he didn't, and then Booker done had 8 fouls in that whole game, and so they tried to rig the story. But then I'm just thinking about the storyline, and it's like every storyline Milwaukee has the same thing for Phoenix. It's just prettier. It's prettier in Phoenix. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's not, yeah, he writes it on his shoe, but Giannis got a tweet to prove it. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean?
All right, Ray, to your question or to your point, I feel that 100%. My story is kind of a collective of Chris Paul, Booker, and the coach. The coach's story.
I do love Monty.
When I heard about him saying the different things about faith and stuff like that, he literally drove me to the internet to research him. Because for those of you who are joining, I'm new to the NBA again this season. I'm an AI fan. I followed him. I pretty much fizzled away after that. But I'm fully immersed now. So when I would hear him say all the different stuff, faith, he was so calm on the sidelines, I researched him. And then that's what led me to a wormhole of just pure information about him. And then that's when it hit me about the story about his wife. And man, when I tell you, I sat there and read that whole article, and it was just everything between that and, like I said, the players, and then Booker's story and the connection with Kobe and be legendary, and the way he's been performing is legendary. Like,
yeah. No, he's doing a great job. My only combative is like, I agree. I love Monty Williams, RIP to his wife and him raising all of his kids alone, as well as doing that head coaching job. And James Jones as the general manager, playing with LeBron and now being,
general manager,
orchestrating that team together. We thought Crowder and Chris Paul wasn't enough, but I will say, not that the story doesn't relate to me, but I wish the NBA would have merited him, I don't know, a playoff berth last season when he was fresh off his wife's, passed away, and they went 14-0 or something, and they kicked him out of the bubble, and we were like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So like that narrative is, and then, you know, I start raising, well, just bring the ball, like don't turn the ball over. My whole thing is if they're gift wrapping you, Suns, and I think in game 2, they were gift wrapping you the game, and Chris Paul just wasn't mentally there. And that's when it shows if it's there for you to take, and then the Bucks come in and take it just so they can keep their demeanor a little bit better than you. And man, it's gonna be a Raptors series.
I gotta give y'all my finals MVP. I'm going Giannis. When they go back home, he's dropping 40.
You think Middleton will drop 40? It's gonna be like Kyrie and LeBron.
It is. He's not dropping 40 because Giannis is going to be 100 miles, pedal to the metal, not lose. You don't want to, I'm not going to lie to you, you don't want to go back game 7 to Phoenix because now you're just rolling the dice. You finish this in Milwaukee, Giannis is going, they're not going to have none of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not going to have that. Now, if we flip it and Phoenix wins, obviously Devin Booker, but I'm going to go Suns losing in 2.5 days, and it's going to be Giannis winning MVP and getting that ring. Before we segue to the next topic, both of you all, if Giannis wins this championship coming from a hyperextended knee, looking like the knee was broken, which I don't know why he don't get that love for it. And these critics want to dog this man.
And don't even talk about the critics. Don't even talk about the critics if you're not talking about the NBA players that always tweet when somebody goes off. But when Middleton,
CJ McCollum, is that who you're talking about? CJ McCollum, old dude, goofy ass. Yeah.
When Giannis and Middleton do what they do, Twitter's quiet. There ain't no NBA to say, look at NBA going crazy. Nobody's going crazy. Why is that? You don't want Giannis to win. You know how
they don't want. Exactly. You know what I mean? Giannis win. Does he automatically crack the top 10 when he finishes? My vote is a yes. Now, this is when his career is finished. I think he automatically, I don't know where, but he'll win another MVP. You know what I mean? Because he's in the East, he can dominate, and he does everything: rebound, steal, block, score. So my vote is a yes. Logan, you think he cracks the top 10 when his career is done if he wins?
I do, but something I need to say about Giannis. Those free throws are inexcusable. There's no way you're missing free throws like that. At this point in practice, everybody that's in practice, I need them yelling at the top of their lungs. 1, 2, 3, while I'm shooting practice free throws because, come on, man, you're going 1 for 2, sometimes 0 for 2, most of the time 0 for 2, if you think about it. Like, that's inexcusable, but I still put him there. He's a dog, but that's clown-worthy, in my opinion. It's in the title. It's a free throw. It's free. If somebody say, here's a free TV, what, you going to leave it? That doesn't make sense. You leaving points on the board. Like, that's so stupid to me. Like, you're
right before you go, to piggyback on that, Giannis is now this comparison is, I know, irrational, but I'm going to compare him to Shaq as far as dominance. Now, in regards to free throw, if Shaq would have made his free throws, he would have already cracked the top 5 in scoring. Giannis is 26. He's going to eventually get this down pack and make his free throws. If he does, Lord have mercy. He'll have no holes in his game because right now, the only thing we complain about Giannis is his free throws. And we complain about that with LeBron. And he's still considered to go James. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ray, attack it.
I, of course, think that Giannis is going to be top 10. I think if he even loses the finals, like a la Magic and Shaq, their first finals, even if he got swept, I think that he would still go down as top 10. Because just like you said, Lamar, he's 26.
I know.
We're talking like, even if, knock on wood, a Paul George injury couldn't stop him, because we see Paul George after a catastrophic injury like that. And people forget that about Paul George. And so that, and then Logan, I raised you the same point Lamar raised, which is you saw AI going against Shaq, and you saw Shaq ain't making those free throws. You was screaming and yelling, "Thank God," because it helped your team. And so the same thing.
They still couldn't stop him.
Same thing. They still couldn't stop him. And so, and then I raised you Wilt because we too old, but somebody remembers Wilt ain't hitting them. And then so I raised you those big dudes that I ain't never had biceps that big. So I don't know what it's like to throw that little tennis ball and be like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Look, I raised you and Lamar. I raised and Giannis. I'm challenging you to be better.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it's not, if it's not in you, it's not in you. I think some players aren't built to make free throws. I think Shaq wasn't built to make free throws. I think Giannis isn't built necessarily to make free throws. I think
that sounds crazy. Listening to that sounds crazy because it is a free throw.
Yeah, and it looks like you should just be able to do it. But I've seen NBA players that their whole career never do it, and I've seen players that lose it.
That's what I'm saying. Look at LeBron.
Yeah.
Look, both of y'all, not with a routine like that though. You haven't.
No, his routine is
it's one of the ridiculous ones.
Yes.
Like that routine, I'm expecting water every time. Like,
well, I've seen. Have you seen Blake Griffin's free throw shot though?
He worked on it. Remember in the Clippers?
You go YouTube Blake Griffin throw free throw shots, and you'll see the clips of him looking like he pump faking and throwing everybody off every time.
Knees be close together, holding it in front.
So we've seen it before. Yeah.
All right, so we got our USA team over there currently right now. Bradley Beal, hopefully he's okay. Got COVID. Kevin Love, I'm not going to make light of him, but he shouldn't have been there.
He bowed out. Ain't no dude saying my ankle ain't up to snuff from the season, and we saw you
when you didn't even let the church say amen.
He just felt bad because of that foul call. Everybody's clowning him, but he bowed out. Like, let's be honest.
So they bring in Johnson from the Spurs, and they bring in JaVale McGee, who is a two-time champion.
He is. Three-time champion, right?
Three-time champion.
Yeah, he's a three-time champion.
Put some respect on his name.
Come on, man.
I'm tripping. Put some respect on JaVale McGee. So, do I think we get smoked? Yes. I need to know you all's opinion. If you like this roster, I don't like it because Bam is not a big. So, Logan, give me your take on this. Do you like the roster, and do you think the addition of Johnson and JaVale McGee get us over the top or actually make us worse?
I like the McGee addition. When I looked this up, I'm going to be honest. I'm like, who's Keldon Johnson?
It's not your fault.
I don't know what that's adding because honestly, for it to be this team and me to not know
how
that
important
is, I feel like that speaks volumes on no shade. I mean, to be an NBA player, you have to have, what it takes to be in the NBA, of course, but I'm like, who is that? And Love, he's the epitome of I'm a head out. In real life. Like,
yeah,
your ankle?
Yeah, he was pieced out. We saw him on a healthy ankle, so he was fine. But hey, we're not gonna despair. But
makes no sense. But I mean, McGee, I think that's a nice addition.
Because we don't have a big man, so yes, okay. McGee does help. Ray, what do you think?
My feeling is it kind of mirrors Logan's. Keldon Johnson, I know of him, but just like you said, yeah, he's on the Spurs. Yeah, he had 120 rebound game maybe, and that was his big highlight of the whole season. And I can name 5 people. I can name Zion Williamson. I can name Trae Young. I can name Ja Morant. We can have more people on Team USA.
I would have been cool with Julius, bro.
I'd been cool with Juju. I'd been cool with anybody. So the fact that we don't have, okay, and then I mirrored Lamar's take. He said we have no true big men. So yes, that's a good McGee pickup. But in my take, I mean, this is Team USA. Let's just send not even only, I mean, if I'd rather replace half these dudes with Jamal Crawford, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, these dudes are having Luis Scola play overseas.
And Luis Scola, 120 years old.
And Pau Gasol and all these dudes that don't play, you know what I mean? And so it's just in my mind, I'm just very frustrated. They're going to get washed. None of these guys are dogs. You need dog guys. You need Ja. You need a freak like Zion. We have too many international studs to be now thinking that you're going to walk in here when they're on the international team being the Kobe's. They're being the superstar. Like everybody that's international of their team, they have all the troops galvanized against them. So they have more, just a lot more just leadership around them than the American team does. And Pop is doing awful. It's his first year after Coach K. And
shout out to Coach K.
Pop literally didn't retire so he can coach his team. And now he's doing trash. So it's a really bad situation. And I don't really mind if they lose.
No, the Redeem team to me mirrored the Dream team. The Redeem team was perfect with veterans, and you got your AD as the youngster.
Anthony Davis on the team.
You had the true veterans. Right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the team we needed to send, and we think just because we sent Kevin Durant, we the best.
No, it should have been Kevin Durant. Should have been Steph Curry. You should have sent Zion. You should have.
You know what I mean?
Like,
we should have sent the A team instead of sending the B plus team.
Because once Giannis goes to Greece, it's over for you. It's over for you. And I love how the referees are calling these games.
Yeah,
they're not having no stoppage in play. They're saying, let's play right basketball. Through this.
It's basketball.
Stop with your calling. Don't even look at, I don't even speak your language. Like, don't even try to argue the call with me.
Trying to get
no.
So we'll move on. We all kind of agree on the same thing that whatever happens.
Hot garbage.
We agree they did need a big man. Mm-hmm. JaVale McGee, which is crazy. He's not even a starter, which is we sending all that. I'm gonna just move on.
What was he on last year? Was he on the Cavs? He
was with the Nuggets.
Yeah, he finished off
coming off the bench. We sent somebody that's coming off the. I digress.
3-time champion though.
3-time champion. Shout out JaVale. Laker, gang. So trade talk. It's spicy out there. Habanero. Okay. I'm gonna start right now with Lonzo Ball. I say Lonzo Ball. You say he goes where?
Lonzo. He's going to try to go to LA, either or. First, he's going to try to go to the Lakers. It's just going to be it's a fumble. It's a fumble there. I don't like the Lakers pick up because it's just. Anyways, he's going to try to go there. Lonzo's big market. That's all you need to know. So think Chicago, think New York, and think LA's. He's not going to Boston. So think about those 4 places. All right. So he's big market Zoe. That's where he's going.
Logan, what do you think?
I have him, going to LA by any means necessary, because that family right there, they're looking at LeBron James. You know how his dad be, never lost. So he see King James over there. He see them coming back healthy. That's where he's going to want to be. And if it's for, little to no money, I think he's fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to realize that these are NBA players. Like, they're good. You know what I mean? They could take a pay cut, really, at the end of the day. Sometimes people have the right to be like, nah, I'm worth more. I don't think Lonzo has that necessarily. So, better than nothing. LA.
To raise you, they do make a lot of ball in the family. Like LiAngelo has a whole mansion by himself just because of the Facebook show. But I will say Lonzo want at least a 3-year, 4-year lock-in because he's injury prone. And if he does that, he wants most of the bag. And if nobody's giving him most of it, he'll sign to Charlotte. He'll sign to Charlotte. And
they got a little bit of the bag.
Then look out. And so I'm saying big market Zoe. Yeah, look out, bro.
All right, LeVar.
You go into Charlotte, you go in about 4 games that year.
Big facts.
Yeah, so you can talk all you want to talk.
They already got LiAngelo working out.
Exactly. So don't let the big markets fumble the bag, because Zoe will go to Charlotte.
So all right, let me give you my take.
Yes.
So Ray's right. He needs a 3 to 4 year deal. He has to do like Anthony Davis and secure a long-term deal because of the injuries.
Now, to quiet the noise.
I remember in the beginning when we started this year, I disagreed with him turning it down, the extension, because he turned it down. He saw the shit fire in New Orleans. He bet on himself.
Louisiana.
But he bet on himself.
You play for the NBA? and you tell me you want to lock up 5 years in Louisiana. You ain't doing it. Nobody's doing it. I bet on the market every time too.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. I'm betting all day.
I was about to say fast.
Like he's gone.
Hey,
he was
give me that Cajun. Give me that Cajun.
Zion's talking now. He's got 4 years left on his rookie deal, and he's talking now about, hey, trade me. Look,
give me the New York.
New York.
No, I feel you. But so I got him. I want him in LA. We financially can't get it unless he takes a 1-year deal, and that's a huge pay cut. Now, Chicago, I see that happening. New York, they got the money to throw at him. I don't know if I like him on that roster, but I like him in Chicago with Levine and Nikolai. I like that. That's a good nucleus. And Chicago will be in the playoffs with that roster. So I'm going to give you my next person, Colin Sexton.
You go first.
Okay, I got him going to New York. I think that's a person that they don't have to throw a large amount at. Lonzo, you have to throw because he played amazing. Colin Sexton played good against Brooklyn, and after that, he was normal. You know what I mean? He looked like a Super Saiyan against Brooklyn. I think he goes with Tom Thibodeau. They can give him like a 24, 25, which is still overpriced.
Yeah.
So that's the only spot, really. I really see him. If they don't give him the bag, I think he just could go somewhere.
Yeah, so Colin Sexton wants the bag because Cleveland will offer him the bag.
They said they wouldn't give him that money, though.
I beg to differ. I think Cleveland's going to offer him the bag. Who else Cleveland got? Come on, let's be honest. And so I think that's false. I think that's false reporting. I see Cleveland offering them however much they can, and I see New York not matching, and I see Miami throwing him an offer that he has to either take or turn down. But the price is going to remain the same because he's a workhorse and he fits that Miami culture.
Okay, Miami. All right. Logan, where you at with Colin Sexton?
All right, I'm kind of tight. I wanted that shine because I was going to say Miami with Jimmy. But I guess I'll just say I'll second the Miami vote for him. You know what I'm saying? It's because, I mean, Jimmy, he needs somebody else. You know what I mean? He be trying to do everything he can. That man be sweating. I mean, everybody be sweating, but if you pull up some highlights, that man be sweating. That man be running the floor. You know what I'm saying? So
that'd be a good little team
to help him out. So
that'll keep them right back at the 4 to 5, 6 spot. They don't get them over.
I agree. It doesn't push them over the edge, but it gives them more of a solid ground. They would still need another star.
Right. Okay. Boom. I say Damian Lillard stays with the Portland Trailblazers this year. You say what?
He's traded to Philadelphia. Go ahead.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Ray with the win, but I'm gonna go ahead and second that as a Philadelphia Eagles fan. That, you know what I'm saying, he's definitely gonna go Dame to Doc for sure, 100%. That's a good combination. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hop to the next one because I know Ray gonna get me. Dame to the Sixers. Go ahead and get Simmons over to Portland, because one thing I can tell you about a Philly fan or Philly fandom, if they are done or if they don't like you, they will let you know. We've thrown snowballs at Santa Claus. So Ben Simmons, he needs to go.
He needs a fresh start. He needs a fresh start.
Yeah, fresh start. He's not trash, but he acts as if he is. So like you said, he needs a fresh start. I think that starts in Portland. Go with CJ. CJ be the somewhat star, you know what I'm saying, with Dame gone, and then Ben Simmons has his little role that he can fall into.
I don't disagree with either one. I piggyback off of both of y'all. That's the most logical sense.
Now, I will say the Celtics fumbled the bag because they traded Kemba too soon. You could have packaged him and Jaylen Brown or something and got that. And I will also say, I would also say that if Philly finds a way to, because they're going to have to throw in Matisse Thybulle with the package, because that's just too short of just Ben Simmons on his low stock. But in my opinion, if they find a way to retain Ben Simmons and throw in Tobias Harris and then that and some picks, man, look out.
What? You must be on dog food if you think they're going to keep Ben Simmons and be able to make a trade.
All right, you think about it.
I just did. There's no way possible financially.
Dame one's out. Yes. Financially? You said, what did you say? Financially? Go look up how much Tobias Harris is making. He's making the same amount as Ben Simmons. So you can take and swap the person, Lamar. It's either Tobias is actually making more. He's the top heavy one on the team.
Ben Simmons goes by himself, and I'm going to tell you how.
No, not by himself. Not for Dame.
Doc, let me tell you how. Listen, hey, hear me out, Ray. Doc is going to sell him. Doc is going to let him know that basically Ben Simmons has been performing based off of his environment.
Nobody listening to Doc. Doc hasn't sold himself a championship since 2008. That's been about 20 years.
Bro, I think
hey, Lamar, go tell me. Tell me what you saw. Who's the what?
So
I'll wait.
Uh-oh.
So you said that Tobias Harris makes more this year or next year than Ben Simmons. That is correct. But who has the bigger contract is Ben Simmons.
Okay, so regardless, you can trade. Correct. So we're both. Yeah, two things could be true at one time. So yes. I will say that you can trade one of them for the other, and I do know that everybody that's in the league knows Ben Simmons ain't trash.
Oh, of course, he's a great player.
Franchise know that he's a franchise player, and if you're a smart GM and you want to unlock him, you'll play him at the 3.
But you're not going to unlock him. He gonna stay the black character, the black thing.
Yep.
So, real quick on this last part on this, Tobias Harris isn't a superstar. Never will be. No. He's a borderline all-star, and we saw this playoffs. He fizzled out too. Embiid he carried them. Now, I don't think. See, the thing is, Dame's character will come into play this season because do I think he has the James Harden in him to say, "Get me the fuck out of here"? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he already did it.
We'll see.
I think he just did it. And
I like my roster. We just not good enough. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. Like,
he said it's not a coaching thing. So shout out to Chauncey Billups. Don't fire my dude, but I'm a one out of here.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, and so I don't think it's even his character coming into play because he's even said, like, I think it's a matter of the two leagues coming into play. Do you want to be a franchise player like Kobe, like Luka, like Giannis is going to be, or are you going to leave to go? And you see that fluke championships can happen. The Raptors just won. You see Phoenix. I think I call
that's disrespectful.
I call it what I call
Klay Thompson got hurt.
Yeah. And in the fact that just Kawhi got traded there because the Spurs didn't want to. What are we talking about, bro? It was a fluke championship. Then we're talking about Phoenix and Milwaukee even getting here off of a shortened season when so many people in the league stars got hurt, and you know this as well. So we're talking about, things can happen that benefit you just staying put. And I think for him, he's just not going to stay put, and he may just go. And then what are we talking about? An aging LeBron, AD can't stay healthy, and what other piece you got to put around him? So you're still being Portland Dame, but bigger market, so more money.
He got to get out. We all agree he got to get out. If he wants to go down as a top 25, he got to get out.
Or you draft Zion. You know, that ship is sailed, so you got to get out.
Yeah,
he's going to keep having great games, but losing at the end of the day.
And he'll look just like Melo looked in the Nuggets uniform,
and never being a greater shooter than Steph Curry.
He's more clutch, though. He's way more clutch.
I'll give you that, but I still stand true to what I said.
Oh, I can't disagree with that. Steph the greatest shooter of all time, so I can't disagree with that. So those are the trades. Anybody got any interesting thing they want to come back? Space Jam review.
I heard. I'm seeing it on Tuesday. To be honest, me and my
seeing it on Monday. Okay,
me and my brother are going. Taking my nephew. You're going. So I've heard though. I've heard reviews. I've heard mixed reviews. My friend is a movie critic, and he reviews top stuff, and he said it was just some hot garbage. I've never known Bron as an actor. That dude can't read it. Most NBA players can't read scripts well. That's why Chris Paul does a great job.
Stay focused.
Yeah, so Blake Griffin does a great job, but most people don't. And so I see LeBron I'm gonna have to count his lines because I bet you he's gonna have 150 words, and you can count them on your notepad. And then everything else is gonna be the bunny talking, and I'm gonna be frustrated. So I'm already prepared for that. But it's not gonna be better than the old Space Jam.
No, iconic.
I wonder if Michael's getting residuals or how that works. Anyways, you know what I mean? So, what do you think it does for his legacy? How about that? Like, I know the movie's going to be some trash, but what do you think it does for his legacy? He thought that it would cement him as MJ. Remember 2 years ago when this was all released, we're all like, oh my gosh, MJ. Now that it's here, we're in the wave. Logan, you take this one. Tell me what you think about his legacy.
Man, I think it really does make him the Michael Jordan of our generation. Like, it really does kind of cement it in I know it's the same, it's a second to what Michael Jordan did, but just with, the basketball that LeBron's been playing, and then now he's in Space Jam and they've switched it up. Like, you really can't change that. And like, I feel like I'm going to watch it tomorrow and I'm going to like it purely off of nostalgia reasons. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like he will do a good job. I feel like it won't be hot garbage necessarily, but I feel like it may be hot garbage adjacent. And that smell, that smell lingers. So we'll have to see. But I also, when I think about LeBron doing anything outside of the NBA, specifically, I think of Crowder. Because that's the most hilarious thing to me, because when he did that commercial, I knew, I said,
Is he gonna come back to bite him?
Why would you do that? Like when Dak Prescott was on the pillow talking about something, like, come on, Dak, and then you get injured, Dak. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just looks bad. But I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's not trash. I hope they don't try to reference the original too much, because that doesn't need to be touched. Like, we know what it's a second to. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? So please, no flashbacks. Please. I don't want to see any of the first one in this one. That's my last thing for that.
So for me, I'm curious to see it because I don't know what the backstory of how we get back to going against them. With the first one, we knew that all the legends lost their powers, and Michael was out there playing basketball and he was on the chains, looking like a damn slave if we think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy to think about. You know what I mean? But I know the animations and everything is going to be amazing. I know the picture quality is going to be amazing. Carmelo's going to love it, and that's probably what I think. Of course. You know what I mean? Do I think it's going to be like a top 20 basketball movie? Probably not. But for LeBron's legacy, which was the question, I don't think this does anything for his legacy, but I will say this does something for his pockets, because I did see that he hits $1 billion this year. And that revenue from this helps him, because now, in the same way you talked about residual, now he'll get residual. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
semantics, though, because I'm not counting pockets, but we have to see in a second. But also, I will say, to combat Logan's narrative of next MJ, I wouldn't say that. Well, I would say
I did hear.
I would say
that.
Cemented as like, if your kids grow up, and you are raising kids, I would say they'll grow up without the mentality of what Michael Jordan has done, what Kobe has done in lifetime. But they're not going to grow up with LeBron either soon. Like, when I have my kids, they ain't going to grow up with LeBron. Gone. So I think his window for GOATness is
shrinking. It's shrinking.
It's done. It's almost like you got to get that one ring next year.
That's the only shot.
Be still open, because I think that this Toon Squad movie is going to do great for his pockets, and he is definitely going to reach $1 billion, because we don't know the undisclosed amount that he signed for the lifetime Nike agreement. But my mindset was, they said that he was reaching $1 billion in his overall earnings of NBA career, which we know he doesn't have that money anymore. So you're not a billionaire if you're talking about your accumulation. But he does have an undisclosed agreement, and the beats, if we add it up, is close. Who's counting? Who's
right.
So let me ask y'all this: if LeBron is not the next MJ, who is?
Let me unpack that. The only next MJ is Kobe Bean Bryant. Now, I said this a long time ago, beginning of this year. I said if LeBron won this year and faced Brooklyn, which, I guess Brooklyn fell apart, but if he won this year, I literally had this topic. I said, I think he would become neck and neck with Michael. And Ray thought that was like, oh my God, that shit crazy. But when you think about it, it would have been amazing because he would have had to beat 3 superstars. Now, who do I think is up next? I don't know, because everybody is young. This whole league is so young. Everybody's under 30. Dame is the only one that's like 30. Yeah. Steph Curry is on the way out too. He got like 3 more years.
I think all the superstars we see right now are on their way out. And Devin Booker, I'm not seeing enough of carrying a team by himself, because Chris Paul gets out, Cameron Payne ain't gonna do you well.
He gone. He gonna get the bag.
I know. I'm saying you're gonna need a Dame for me to now be like, okay, he is gonna be the next something, Giannis is the first one, but I think Michael Jordan cemented, Kobe cemented in his own way. It was a debate. Now it's just like your own way. And I think Bron, for me, is still like he's not past Kobe. He's not past Magic. You got 5. That's 5. To me, he's tied with Shaq. Shaq has 4. Shaq went to a different. That's my mentality. So Shaq deferred to great teammates. So in my mentality, I think he's tied there. But once he gets the 5th, then we're talking about, okay, what about the mentality of Magic, Kobe? That's my mentality of that. So I just don't think he's there yet. And then, if not LeBron, then who? Don't know.
All right. Now, you're not saying, Logan, hold on. You're not saying that he is better than Michael, are you?
No, he's saying that it was the kid's Michael Jordan. They're going to see LeBron as Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan as washed, like we see Bill Russell and Kareem.
But by the time both of our kids get 18,
they won't know LeBron.
They want LeBron to be
highlights,
obsolete. Yeah, it'd be highlight YouTube.
He was in Miami?
But, I feel that. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, it makes sense to me. And like with Kobe in mind, maybe it's just the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't passing by him by any means. But I'm like, okay, so you got MJ, you got Kobe, you got LeBron, right?
I'm with that. I'm absolutely with that.
I'm not.
That's the mindset that I'm talking about when I say the next MJ, if you will, because that's the progression. Because I have a 9-year-old, you know what I'm saying, and a 7-year-old. So like right now, LeBron's on Fortnite. Like that's how I was as a kid with Michael Jordan. I'm like, what? Michael Jordan's with Bugs Bunny?
Yes. Well, nobody has the personality right now of LeBron, Magic, Michael, or even Kobe. So we have to see what Zion pans out to do and his health. We have to see who remains healthy, who remains dominant, and whose personality blooms. I think that people's personality aren't blooming yet. Giannis isn't really.
I love Giannis' personality, though, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, he be cracking me up.
My man said I had to tinkle.
But I think the media isn't gravitating toward him as much though as they did LeBron, MJ, Kobe,
which Magic. They should. But
like Anthony Edwards has that personality to me that I'm like, man, if he ever gets his game up, that dude will be box office for interviews, man. Like, you know what I mean? So,
but when the next person comes into their own, that's not to say that you're bumping LeBron out of that third.
Oh, LeBron, and
we're talking the 4th seed at this point.
Of course.
And people would depend on who you love and what type of style of basketball you like. They got LeBron first. They got LeBron second. You know what I mean? Shit, look at Shannon Sharp. But I don't talk basketball with people that don't got Kobe in their top 5. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he got to be number 2, but he got to be.
If players put him in the top 5, then you can't just discount their whole view of his work ethic. So I feel
that's it. So that's it, y'all. That's episode 19. Logan, I appreciate you coming through. Ray, as always, we did the damn thing.
When we come back, it'll be the end of the finals. We'll be recapping who won. Man.
And look, I appreciate, like I said, the invite once again for the show. But lastly, Ben Simmons, you say he can't go by himself, right, Ray?
Yeah, no. I'm not accepting that. Not how they deteriorated his value in the press. No, you give me him with Matisse Thybulle.
Okay, so think about this. Ben Simmons for Calvin Cambridge. Are we talking equal then? Like y'all, like everybody makes him seem like such hot garbage. Like he can go by himself, right? He can go by himself. He's an NBA player.
He's good. I don't think. Yeah, we talking about the verses, or we talking about like Mike?
Little Pee Wee.
Not Pee Wee. Not that.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna go by himself. You can't tell me that you're gonna degrade him. You're gonna let your fans talk about him how he can't shoot, and now you're gonna trade him for my superstar franchise player, just him. No, give me 5 picks and your young star, and Ben Simmons. For my franchise player that's locked in for 6 years with the Supermax, nah.
I respect that rebuttal 110%. I'm gonna call this the Big Dawg Talk backtrack.
Ooh.
That was some BS when they called back when Devin Booker yammed on Giannis because there was a foul backcourt. They called it back. Remember when he did that foul?
Mm-hmm.
And then they did it again because Tucker was fouling all over the place. Like, it was mayhem. But I had to get that off. But like I said, once again, thank you for the invite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a straight blast. Appreciate y'all. Episode 19. We got one more episode. Big Dawg Talk. We out.
Yes,
sir.